All right, so once we are finished with the finalized deck, we almost want to condense this down into kind of like a high level roadmap. And this is really going to be used to keep your client team and your internal teams on track. So click into the high level roadmap, step 3. Um, and we're just going to talk. So we really want to create a shortened, more digestible version of the finalized deck for the team members to stay on track, like I just said. This high level roadmap may include the following: future state business outcomes, right? Objectives, outcomes, things of that nature. Define top 3 user personas, high level workflow process, right, within the CMS, and then implementation outline, right? Roles, tasks, start and end dates, or proposed start and end dates, and then the status of that particular task. So I'm going to show you guys something within this, but the deliverable here is a high-level roadmap to keep team members on track and help steer the project and move forward into the next phase, which is literally doing that actual project, creating that particular thing. So if you click on this PDF attachment, again, this came from my old podcast called Unstrategic, but you guys can still use it. I'm going to minimize this real quick to show it to you. So essentially, you want your goals, objectives, outcome, right? List out what the project goals are, the specific objectives, and the business outcomes of those goals and objectives, right? Like project goals set direction and give general program purpose. Right? The goal is to get better conversion rates for a website. Objectives are more concrete and specific about how the goal will be achieved. So, example, create clearly defined user paths to conversion through key pages, good design and functionality. And then business outcomes should reflect what the expected result should be. Increased revenue, increased awareness, increased visibility, whatever the case. You can put down your target user personas. And again, these are just 3 types of, marketing personas, proto personas, and design personas. Now, client workflows are pretty cool. You want to diagram each step of the process with with roles and tools to publish the necessary content to help business outcomes. So let's say you have, a client workflow where you're doing a site where there's a bunch of authors on it, or people who are like writers who are writing drafts, right? You can have, and again, there's a role, like what's the step, what's the role, what's the tool we use, color coded, okay? So let's say any team member can come up with an idea, right? Then a writer needs to outline that. Maybe we do it in Google Docs, maybe we do it in Trello. Then a writer needs to create a first draft of that. Again, Google Docs, Trello, and then a writer needs to basically submit the draft. An editor can reject it, right? And then it goes back in to, editor rejects, it goes back in, do another draft submission. If they accept, you can use, again, Trello, whatever tools that you're using. And then it goes down to revision, and then it goes to a researcher that maybe does content verification. You can even, let's say you have a peer writer who's going to do a peer review on that. And then you can have another cycle of rejected or accepted. When it's accepted, you finalize it, you throw it in the CMS, and you publish it. All right. But that is what, again, high level, simple kind of client workflow will look like. And then I always put these into tables on implementation plans, right? You can have week 1, week 2, week 3, and then you can outline this based on the role, right? So the account management strategy, right? What is the task? When are we starting it? When do we think it will end? What's the current status of that? And are there any notes that will help us with this particular task? You can do that with project management. You can do it with design. You can do it with technology or the technologist that you're working with. Again, remember group intelligence. And then we always have a section here for the client team, because remember, they have tasks too. They have to approve things. They have to get you certain information, certain materials, access to certain systems. So you want to put these tasks in here as well. Start and end dates or proposed start and end dates, and then what the status of that, are we still waiting on it, and then any kind of notes that you need to help them along with that. Now, once you do all that, guys, you have engaged in a road mapping engagement with your clients. Okay, so that is how you roadmap an engagement, again, at a high level, right? All these different things that we're doing in here, all these different tasks or activities. If you don't know how to do them, there's more information on the boards, and you guys can always reach out to me at info@strategyknot.com and ask for specific resources. All right. But the next one, I'm just going to go into the legend and kind of close this up.